Cynthia Scott with Cynthia Scott Insurance Agency here in the great state of Georgia. We're going to be talking about protecting your income in event of a disability. What you see here, these are my representation of your situation, right? You are working, hopefully you're working, right? And you're currently not disabled, okay? And you are currently receiving every week, every month, every 2 weeks, whatever your case may be, okay? You are currently getting 100% of what is due to you. You've worked all week and it's time to get paid on Friday, right? So this represents 100% of your income minus any taxes, okay? We don't want to forget about that, right? How can we forget, right? So this is your taxable money, right? This is what is due to you. 100% of that income. Okay? Alrighty. So whatever it is that you do, if you're a truck driver, if you're a hairstylist, if you're a barber, if you're a mechanic, if you're a boiler maker, if you're a content creator, if you are a teacher, whatever it is that you do, okay? You drive the trash truck, you dig ditches, it doesn't matter, okay? You make an income and it's a taxable income. Your income is very important to you. Why? Because your income is what makes your ends meet, right? That is what keeps your lights on, right? Your rent or your mortgage paid, and all of those other fun things that we like to do, okay? So as we're considering and thinking and listening on talking about your income, you want to think about the importance. Why do you get up? Why do you get up at whatever time it is, right? And to go to work, right? And if you're like me, you're not doing it for pleasure, even though you may enjoy, highly enjoy what you do, okay, every day. But ultimately, right, we are all doing what we do to make an income. And I always like to leave this with you, leave the thought with you. As we're talking, you think about this. What would you do if you were unable to bring in the income that provides for your family, the income that provides and makes your car note, your mortgage, your all of your expenses, your doctor bills, your phone bill, your grocery, all of those things, right? That makes your world complete. If you were unable to bring in 100% what is due to you because you are unable to work, what will you do? That will help soften, right, of not having an income coming in. That's what we're going to talk about. We've already mentioned what this 100%, this is your income that you make every week. Okay, so in this case, you're working, okay? Everything is fine and dandy. You know, you don't have anything has arrived that has prevented you from working, okay? All righty. Now, you're to the point that possibly, okay, you've had an accident or an illness that is preventing you from working, okay? All righty. Now, I'm going to give you some stats just for a minute. Social Security states that 1 out of 4 20-year-olds of today's 20-year-olds will become disabled before reaching age 67. Okay? All right. Now, so just because you're not 20 years old, right, that still puts you, me, and everyone else in the running of being one of the 4. Right? Because today's 20-year-olds is not going to be tomorrow's 20-year-olds, right? We're getting older, right? Health changes, life changes, things happen, right? And it's not so much about health. An accident can happen that could prevent you from working and bringing in an income. And that's what we want to talk about. That's what we want to discuss with you in protecting the money that is helping to protect your family. Okay, all righty. Social Security states that 1 out of 4 20-year-olds will become disabled before reaching age 67. Okay, so that means that if it's a friend, some cousins, and it's 4 of you all in a room. One of you will become disabled before reaching age 67, which is considered retirement in our world. So we don't know what will cause the disability. We don't know when the disability would happen, but those are the stats of the information. So we have that, okay? So now, why protect your income? Why would you want to protect your income? Has anyone ever heard of income protection? We're going to talk about what would happen if you did not, if you didn't have anything in place. What would be your options, right? What would be your options if you had no income coming in, if you were unable to work? All right? Okay. So we're going to first talk about personal. This is for personal, and we'll also talk about businesses. The business, the owner of the business. What if the owner of the business became disabled? How would you pay the expenses for your business? Okay? All right. So your personal paycheck. We're first talking about personal paycheck, right? Your income is one of your most valuable assets, whether you believe it or not, okay? Because many talks about a home and your car. Those things are not your number one asset, because if you don't have an income coming in and you're unable to pay the mortgage and the car note and all those things, what good are they, right? Your most valuable asset is your income. It is one of your most valuable assets, okay? Now, have you ever thought about what would happen if you became sick or hurt and unable to work? What would you do? Would your everyday lifestyle, your future plans, they could quickly be affected because you do not have anything in place? Disability income insurance can help provide a monthly benefit to help you pay your basic monthly expenses should you experience an income interruption or a totally disability. This is regarding if you're totally disabled or if you're partially disabled. So you work hard to have what you have, and we want to be able to keep those things, right, running, operating in event of a disability, okay? Help protect your income with disability income protection, okay? Alrighty, so we're going to talk about also what that would look like, right? What it will look like for you. So 100% again is when you are working, bringing in your week to week, your month to month, your 2 weeks, however you're set up, this is your money. So let's say that you became injured, or you came down with the sickness that prevents you from working. Okay. Now we're gonna move this because you're no longer working, so you're not getting 100% of your income that is due to you. We're moving this out. So now that you are injured, sick, whichever one, we have no idea. These are your options, right? And this is something that you opt in to have long before you become disabled, right? So we're talking about ahead of time. This is like having life insurance before you pass away. You want to make sure that you have this in place. So before you become disabled, before you become sick and unable to work, this is what we're talking about, okay? All right, okay? So you have an option. If you're unable to work, right? You're unable to work, so you're not bringing any income in. You're not bringing at least of your 100%, okay? So you would have in place a couple options, right? One of them would be having disability income protection that would protect up to 70% of your income. Now, 60% is being the low amount, up to 70%. Up to 70%. And this is based on a few things, rather 60 or 70. It could be your occupation, it could be your income, it could be rather you have coverage already and we're supplementing the difference. So all of that has to come into play. All right. So if you have disability income protection in place, right, and you can receive up to 60% or 70% of your income. Now, the percentage would be determined long before you become disabled. We do that in the underwriting process, right? We do that where we get your amount of income. You let us know, rather, you already have something in place. Maybe you have something through your employer that is already a long-term or short-term policy, right? We have to know all of that information because, listen, none of the insurance companies and none of this wants to make you completely whole, right? But I will tell you a couple things later. So they're not interested in making you 1,000 times whole, right? But we do have to consider what you already have in place versus what it is that you're trying to supplement. Okay, so all of that matters. Okay, all of that matters. Okay. All right, so we'll go back from step one. I'm Cynthia Scott with Cynthia Scott Insurance Agency here in the great state of Georgia. We are discussing disability income protection, how individuals, business owners can protect their income in their business expense in event of a disability. Okay, so if you have our policy in place, we are focusing on 60, 65, up to 70% of your income protected. All right, okay, so now at least, if you're not bringing in your full income because you're sick, you're out of work, at least you have something in place. Okay? Now, I'll put a pin right here. Our coverage that we offer to individuals and to business owners is not integrated with, one, workman's comp. So that means if you become disabled on your job and you have a workman's comp claim and you're receiving workman's comp, you have our policy in place already. What you have with us has nothing to do with your workers' comp. So what does that mean? That means that you will receive your workers' comp benefit and you would also receive our benefit amount that you have already set in play. Okay? Alrighty. And it works the same with Social Security. So say that you become disabled, you apply for Social Security, whether it's SSI or SSDI, you are approved, right? Say that you are approved whenever they decide to approve you, right? Because we already know that can work 2 or 3 years before you even get a benefit, right? So with that, you want to with that, if you are receiving Social Security benefit, our policy, which it could be, but I make sure when I design them that we have no integration with workers' comp or Social Security disability. Meaning, whatever Social Security awards you, great, happy for you, and guess what? You're going to be able to receive whatever benefit amount that you have set on our policy, on your policy that you have with us. Okay? All right. So that is a benefit, right? You're making an income. You're making a taxable income. And in event of a disability, you want to be able to protect that income. All righty? So 70 up to 70% of your income is protected because you and I have had a discussion. You said, hey, if something happens to me and I'm unable to work, I don't have anything in place. And Cynthia, I need for you to help me figure out what would be my benefit amount. And this would be up to 70% of your income, between 60 to 70 of your income. Now, so what happens if we're going to put this up, okay? So this is assuming that you have this in place, okay? So say that you do not have anything in place. Nothing from nothing leaves, right? So 0% of your monthly income is covered. 0% of your income is not covered. Okay? It's not protected. Okay? So, what does this mean? If you become disabled, you don't have anything in place, rather it be on the job, you know, you're going to get 0%. 0% of your income is what you would get, right? But now I can assure you of this. Even though like we have our 100% with the money that you make every week, we have the 70%, up to 70% of your income because you're becoming you're disabled and you have an income because we talked and you have that. But in here, even though there is no money in here, right? There is no money because you don't have anything set to replace any percent of your income, right? But in here, even though we don't have any physical money in here, but I will tell you what you will have. You will have a lot of bills, okay? You will have a lot of anxiety. You will have a lot of stress. You will have a lot of sleepless nights because you have nothing coming in, possible lights out, water off, mortgage behind, rent. And we all know landlords are not playing about their rent, okay? Alrighty, I'm a landlord as well, and we don't play about the rent, okay? So, because times are tough and you know, and compact for a whole lot of people, right? So, you want to make sure that if you became disabled, you want to be able, that you will have your income protected, all right? Because this is what is going to help you as an individual, right? This is what's going to help you as an individual, as a homeowner, as the breadwinner, be able to keep the family, the household going as much as possible. Okay? All right. So remember that. So your options are to protect, 100% only happens when you're working. Okay? So in the meantime, your options are, if you're unable to work, your options are protecting up to 70%, or you choose 0%. The option is yours.